Hey guys, it's Bonnie. Today I am here to film my October wrap-up, so let's get right into the wrap-up. October was a pretty decent reading month for me. I think it would have been a lot better if life hadn't just been really annoying the past couple weeks in October. Not only has like school been annoying, but like I've had some health issues that have just been really annoying. As you can maybe tell, I am not wearing any makeup today and I look kind of like trash, but I've been having this weird thing where my face gets really hot and they say I'm having an allergic reaction, but I don't know what. I'm literally waiting for a phone call from my doctor right now, but I don't know. So sorry for looking like trash and being all red, but still here to film. I did read 6 different things throughout the month of October though, so let's talk about them because it was a lot of good stuff. The first book I read in October is Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. This book, you guys, oh my god. This was one of my most anticipated books of the year, and rightfully so because it was amazing. Basically, Six of Crows follows 6 different characters that come together to kind of pull off this crazy impossible heist, and it's just so great. It's set in the Grisha universe, but you don't have to read the Grisha trilogy to read this book, although I would before if you have interest, but you don't have to. I won't say too much more because I do have a full review and I will leave that link down below if you want to hear my entire thoughts, but I loved it. Obviously a 5 out of 5 stars. Next I read a graphic novel which was East of West Volume 1 by Hickman, Dragotta, and Martin. I gave this graphic novel 4 out of 5 stars. It was pretty good. It's a little confusing in the beginning, but once you kind of get past that and you just kind of accept that you're not fully knowing everything that's going on, it's really interesting and I really like where it ended off, so I'm definitely going to pick up the next one. Then I picked up Sharp Objects by Gillian Flynn. I've been meaning to read this book for a while after I read Gone Girl, also by Gillian Flynn obviously, because I really liked it, and oh my god, I loved this book. Like, I loved this more than Gone Girl, I think. First of all, before you think of picking it up, definitely some major trigger warnings for like alcohol and drug abuse and just a lot of different things, but the main one is like self-harm. That is a very big component of this book, so if that is a trigger of yours, I would not read this because yeah. But basically this book follows a 30-something-year-old woman named Camille who is a journalist in Chicago. She's kind of like a so-so journalist though, but her boss really loves her, and so he sends her to her hometown where this sort of crime is unfolding. No one really knows what's going on there, and he sends her to kind of figure it out. But her hometown brings up a lot of bad memories, so it's an emotional journey for her, along with solving or trying to solve and figure out what kind of mystery is going on in her hometown. This book is really messed up. Like, all the characters are so messed up. They all have really just issues, and like the town has issues, just like the way of thinking and the way things are. However, like I said, I just completely loved it. I was hooked from the first page. I just wanted to read more and more. Characters were so interesting to read about, even though they were pretty awful. My only complaint is that the end does kind of wrap up a little quickly. However, that didn't really affect my liking of it, so I still give it 5 stars because I completely loved it. It's definitely mature like most of her books seem to be, but if you can handle it, I would check it out because it was really good. Next, I read Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. This book follows our main character named Mare, who lives in a society where people are split into their blood type, basically red blood versus silver blood. If you have silver blood, you are elite and you have magical abilities, and they basically act like, you know, they're better than everyone else. And if you have red blood, you're on the lower end, you know, they don't really care about you, you're struggling through life, you know, the typical dystopian sort of flip-floppy-ish. Basically, our main character, Mare, finds out that even though she's a red blood, she has a magical ability, and her story takes off from there. Honestly, the best way to describe this book is The Hunger Games meets Game of Thrones, at least for me. I haven't read Game of Thrones, but from what I've watched of the television show, I really got a vibe from that. A lot of people's complaints with this book is that it's very similar to other YA dystopians and like even fantasies, and it definitely does have a lot of similarities, especially to The Hunger Games. So much Hunger Games. But it also didn't bother me that much. Like, I still really enjoyed it, and I enjoyed the writing and the characters and everything. It definitely wasn't perfect though, and a lot of people's praises for this book is that like the twists are so insane, And I think they would have been if I hadn't guessed every single one of them. Victoria Aveyard is definitely a strong, talented writer. However, I think she needs to work on her foreshadowing, because every time she would foreshadow, I would just get it immediately, and like all the twists, I was just like, I saw that one coming. Overall, I think I gave this a 3.5 out of 5 stars. It was good. I'm going to continue with the series, but hopefully she makes it less predictable and less like other series in the next of the words. I wasn't even going to buy this book, let alone read it, but everyone was talking about it and everyone was saying it was so good, so I bought it and I read it, and that is Carry On by Rainbow Rowell. Carry On started off as a like book series slash Cats fan fiction in Rainbow Rowell's book Fangirl, and the reason I wasn't really interested in this book at first is because I wasn't that interested in the Simon Snow parts of Fangirl, but everyone said this was so good, so I picked it up, and they're right. This book follows a bloke named Simon Snow. He is a wizard. There's a lot of like Harry Potter similarities, except, you know, there's differences too. It's not like straight up Harry Potter, but obviously you get that vibe, and that's like the intention. This book is kind of chunky. It's like over 500 pages, but it goes by so fast. I think it's because Rainbow Rowell normally does write contemporary. She was able to mix in that like fast-paced feeling contemporary vibe with a fantasy world, and it was just really, really nice and well done. Bravo to her. I really loved the world. I really loved the characters. Simon wasn't my favorite, but I loved Baz and I loved Penelope. Hold on, that could be my doctor. Yep, it is. Hold on. Hello? Okay, now that that's over. It was just such a fun world, and it went by so fast, and I really, really enjoyed it. And I pretty much gave it 5 stars, like 4.75 if I'm being really picky, but it was great, and you should read it. And finally, I finished my month reading a short, kind of spoopy story on Halloween, and that was The Grown Up by Gillian Flynn. I literally bought this from Book Depository just so that I could get this paperback cover that matches my other ones, and you know, no regrets, because I also got it early. I don't think this comes out until November, it said on Amazon, so like. This short story was originally published in an anthology that George R.R. Martin created, but they republished it on its own, obviously, and it says the Edgar Award-winning short story, so cool. Basically, this short story follows a woman who kind of works as a psychic, but she's not, you know, really a psychic. She's like faking it. And there's some also like soft-core sex stuff on the side. Typical Gillian Flynn throwing that mature stuff out there. She's doing pretty good at her job. She has people believe in her. But then one woman comes in and kind of changes everything with her story and the house that she lives in. This was really, really good. I loved it. Just like all of Gillian Flynn's books, I've realized that I've definitely picked up on her style, like reading it. I'm like, this is Gillian Flynn. Is it Gillian Flynn or Gillian Flynn? I don't know. Sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. But it was great. Obviously, I can't say too much because it's a short story, so I don't want to spoil you. But it had all the great stuff that her stuff always has. You know, twists and great writing, fast pace, hooks you like that. And again, with this one, my only complaint was that it did wrap up a little quickly. Like, yes, it's a short story, but I could have read a whole book on this. Honestly, I loved it. And the characters messed up as always, fun to read about as always, and I loved it. But because it did wrap up like the twist, like it was like bam bam, like right in a row, I was like, oh, slow down, add 20 more pages. Because of that, I did give this 4 stars, but I still really loved it and would suggest it if you like Gillian Flynn's writing. So these are all the books that I read in the month of October. It was a pretty darn good reading month. I read a lot of stuff that I really loved, and yeah, it's almost hard to pick a favorite, but it was definitely Six of Crows, because probably one of my favorite, if not my favorite book of the year so far. But that is all I have for this video, and I will see you guys very, very soon with my November TBR. Bye.